Yo, guys, Hangover Gang, Urb'n Barz brings you the best UK reactions to rap, hip hop, and urban music from all around the world. And Hangover Gang, it's Tom's day, so we got another Tom MacDonald tidbit. And guys, look at this. I'm not sure if it's going to be one that's going to make us smile because Tom's saying that he has a bad back or he has the back of an 80-year-old man. Really, I've got some ideas of why that might be, but let's hear what Tom MacDonald's got to say to us. It's a Hangover Gang. Let's sit back and let's check this out. And I don't think it's going to be a short one either. It looks like it's a long
I'd
one.
like to know what you guys have to say about everything. That being said, oh jeez, man, my back. I just fucking bent over to grab a CD and I almost fucking seized up there, bud.
He almost seized up there, bud. And guys, yes, I'm lucky enough not really to have had too many issues with bad backs, but I know people who have had bad backs, and I know the state people can get into with a bad back.
So crazy that I'm in my 30s and I have the back of a fucking 80-year-old man.
Oh,
I remember
my
when...
gosh. So he says, like, Tom's only just turned 30 odd. He's just early 30s, 31, 32, something like that. And he said he's got the back of an 80-year-old. But I've got a suspicion because Tom, ex-wrestler, and I've been into wrestling since I was this high, really. I know all the problems like wrestlers. If a wrestler hasn't had an issue with their back or their knees or their ankles, then they haven't obviously wrestled. Really, it's just it's part and parcel of the game of wrestling, people. There's certain injuries you get in certain sports. Like I know the injuries I've had with boxing, all my knuckles, my wrists and everything. I've had ligament damage and all sorts of weird and wonderful things through boxing. You know, like knee ligament damage, wrist ligament damage, knuckle damage, and all sorts of metacarpal damage, guys. You know, through punching and stuff like that, etc. But with wrestling, I would say that probably if you ask 9 out of 10 wrestlers, they would say their primary injuries would probably be with back. Because remember, they're lifting, moving people. It's all right to lift a dead weight, but when you're lifting a solid object, but with a different mass and shape, and you're lifting them with velocity and speed, you put pressure on your back, you put pressure on your lower back, you put pressure on your lower limbs, you put pressure on your knees, and there's also jumping on and off the ropes and from the mat to the floor, this, that, and everything else, and probably sometimes carrying people on your back as well. So, you know, to get your knees blown out, your ankles and your back, to me, that's an issue with wrestling. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's hear what Tom's got to say. And to be honest with you, Tom, I feel so sorry that you have issues with your back. Backs and knees have got to be managed. You manage them from day one, because if you have an issue, you do not want that to develop and blow up into a crisis. You don't, because management is better than absolutely sorting out an issue. It really is.
So crazy that I'm in my 30s and I have the back of a fucking 80-year-old man. I remember when I was pro wrestling, I was on this tour and we were doing an outdoor show somewhere in Canada, in Winnipeg, I think it was.
Winnipeg.
And it just so happened that while we were in town doing these outdoor summer festival shows, there happened to be a sports and wellness conference going on in the building next to us. So like when I wasn't wrestling and I wasn't getting shit-faced, I took a walk through the sports and wellness convention, and there was a chiropractor's booth, and I remember I sat down with the chiropractor and he felt my back, and I was like 18 at the time, 18, 19 years old. And he felt my back, and I remember he goes, what do you do for a living? And I said, well, I'm a pro wrestler. And he's like, how old are you? And I said, I'm 18, 19, whatever I was at the time. And that doctor was like, if you don't stop doing what you're doing right now, you're going to be in a wheelchair by the time you're 40.
Whoa.
And being a headstrong young man, I was like, man, fuck this guy. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm going to keep wrestling, blah, 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 blah. And here I am in my 30s, and bending over the fucking table all day
Oh.
and autographing CDs is pretty much rendering me fucking incapacitated.
So this has been taken a while back then, because what are the albums here? So this must be a couple of years ago. Yeah. Because the last albums Tom dropped is Renegade, isn't it? And what's the other one? It's a double album, Renegade, and I can't remember the other title. Forgotten, so apologies on that. So this literally is 2 years ago. But this just literally dropped to my feed just now, so I thought this was recent. So Tom's had a problem with his back, and I'm... But do you know what, though? It's a good way. He segued that into marketing what he's doing. So obviously this was the release of his albums a couple of years back, but he segued the problem. So, and that's true. So all that backbending stuff, signing physical copies with physical autographs, it will, lead you to things like, I don't know, stuff with your back, etc. That's pretty cool. I like that, Tom. He's a very, very astute and clever person.
Autographing CDs is pretty much rendering me fucking incapacitated on a constant basis.
Very astute.
So I guess that son of a bitch at the sports and wellness convention was right. I wonder what would have happened if I kept wrestling for another 5, 6, 7 years. I wonder how fucked up I'd be now. So I'm just, I'm thankful that I've even been able to sit here and autograph these things for the last week for you guys. And like I said, I'm going to power through the rest of the week. I guess we're through the rest of the week. I already did power through the rest of the week. But I will power through until tomorrow at midnight, and then we're gone forever. Not us. We're still going to be here. The autograph albums will be gone until, next year when I drop another album. Then I'll maybe autograph those. But for this year, autograph copies stop tomorrow night at midnight. So I got them both here in hand, Us Against the World and No Guts, No Glory. I'm autographing every single copy until tomorrow at midnight. So if you want a copy, go to hangovergang.com, grab the 2 CDs autographed, and I will have them to you shortly. So I just finished this box of Us Against the World. I just cracked the box of No.
Wow. I wonder how many are in that box. Whoa.
No Guts, No Glory. I just cracked this one open, so I am looking at 1,249 because there's 1,250 in a box, and this is number 50. So
1,250 in a box. I remember back in the days with the vinyl, we called them 100 boxes because you could fit 100 vinyl records in those boxes.
At 1,249 that I have to start signing right now.
And he said his album was called No Guts, No Glory. Do any of you guys remember a group called the Goats? They had an album, No Goats, No Glory. And that would have been sometime in the early to mid 1990s. I need to dig that out because that was quite a good album, guys.
So, yeah, I had no intentions of coming on here and giving the big talk about what's next and what do you guys think and blah, blah, blah. I really just wanted to let you know that autographed albums come to a stop tomorrow at midnight. Give everybody a fair chance to go pick theirs up. Somebody said, "Are you totally sick of your own signature now?" Laugh out loud. You know what? Every single time that I start to feel like I'm sick of signing my name, I remember 14-year-old me who would have traded almost anything.
Everything.
To even have one person ask for his autograph one day.
Be in his position.
And not only do I remember that little kid who would have just given anything to sign one autograph for one person, I remember the guy who was 500 miles away from his family up in the middle of nowhere, working on oil rigs, swinging hammers, and building camps, and building commercial buildings, and residential buildings, and working on industrial plants. I remember that guy in the freezing cold and the blistering sun and going through all that bullshit, the pouring rain. I remember that guy, and I remember how badly he wanted to be in this situation and how hard he worked to be in this situation. So as tedious as this becomes and as difficult as it becomes, I never ever take it for granted. I am so grateful to even be here. After all that hard work, after addiction, after mental illness, after all that shit, hey man, at the end of the day, I'm sitting here. I got 4 dogs who love me. I got one stinky ass girlfriend who loves me. I got one stinky ass girlfriend who loves me. I got 4 dogs who love me. I got all you guys who love me and love the music, and I just feel like sitting here and autographing is the least I could do. So I'm not stopping because I am sick of autographing. I'm not stopping because I'm tired of it. I'm not stopping because I'm annoyed of it. I'm not stopping because I've become complacent or comfortable or ungrateful. I am extremely grateful. I am extremely thankful. I am so proud of everything that we've done. It's just literally accumulated injuries from pro wrestling, the wear and tear on my body from working on oil rigs as a carpenter for a third of my life. It's just really left me with some lasting back pain. And
I thought he was talking about himself. That's something I didn't know, guys. I didn't know that Tom worked on an oil rig. I did not know that. But I was just thinking, guys, you know, there's always solutions and there's always other angles you can take. So he's doing 1,250 autographs each box. So is there not something called like a wet signature? Because I know in business, you know, like when we're looking like for the top bosses to sign off on certain bits and pieces, and sometimes these bosses aren't around. So the way around that is to, I'm sure it's called like a wet signature. Guys, if you know, let me know in the comments section. So, I mean, Tom, you know, you could play that game and just get your own wet signature stamp. But you know what it is, guys. You know what it is.
It fucking sucks. So that's the reason why I'm stopping. Nothing else than that. So anyways, guys, like I said, I just finished 1,200 of these bad boys. Now I got to do 1,200 of these bad boys. So yeah, I got to get started on it now. That's why I came here. I just wanted to give everybody a final warning and a last shot to get their autographed albums. And that's it. So I'll leave it at, I love you guys so much. This has been an incredible week. 13 months of incredibly hard work on 2 albums, 36 songs. Wow. All roads led here. I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all the support and how loving this week has been. I can't even tell you how much worry and anxiety I was filled with leading up to the release of these 2 albums. And once again, you guys have totally exceeded all of my expectations and blown me just totally out of the water with your love and support. So I just want to say thank you. It means the world to me. And if you want the 2 new autographed albums, grab them from www.hangovergang.com before tomorrow night at midnight. All right? I love you guys so much. I hope everybody has an incredible Thursday evening. I'm going to get back to work. I love y'all tons. It's Hangover Gang forever. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
So that was Tom MacDonald says he is the back of an 80-year-old man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that Hangover Gang. That was great, just getting a bit more insight into Tom MacDonald. So I never ever knew that he worked on oil rigs. I didn't know that. I did not know that, guys. So that's something which is, it's great sometimes to get little pieces, you know, snippets from people's lives, etc., that you didn't know before. So that was interesting there. And I just hope that this is a couple of years later kind of thing. I hope his back is in a much better situation than it was there. But guys, I hope you enjoy that. The weekend's here, so enjoy yourselves, guys. Go out, have fun, but make certain you look after yourselves, you look after each other. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel here at Urb'n Barz, please subscribe. And guys, even more importantly than all of that, and that's important, guys, make certain you don't miss the next Urb'n Barz reaction, guys.